Welcome, everyone. We're very excited to have you with us for today's webinar. Whether you're tuning in from the UK or the other side of the world, it's great to have you here. So before we get into the nitty-gritty details of the PowerPoint, a bit of an introduction. So my name is Stephen Neal. I'm the MENA Regional Director, and I'll be your host for today's session. We're excited to give you a closer look at what studying computing at CCCU is like, both academically and in terms of the student experience. We'll be introducing you to courses like the Masters in Cybersecurity, Data Intelligence, the Bachelor's Computer Science, Cybersecurity, and Forensic courses. We're very honored to have a great panel today. We have Amina, who is the Senior Lecturer in Computing. We have Ahmad, who is a Senior Lecturer in Computing and Cybersecurity. We have Mr. Richard Venner, who's the Global Recruitment Officer, and we are very lucky to be joined by one of our student ambassadors, Greenlee. In today's session, we'll be covering an overview of CCCU's computing programs, the entry requirements, and the application process for both UG and PG. We'll be looking into insights into practical learning, including labs, real-world projects, and emerging technologies. Career opportunities, very important, across fields such as cybersecurity, data science, digital forensics, and software development. And then finally, also the range of support available to our students. Yes, you'll be hearing from our academic team as well as our student ambassador Greenlee, who will be able to share his personal experience of studying at the university. So before we start, just some housekeeping rules. So we just want to share a few important reminders to ensure a smooth and productive session for everyone. So please note that this webinar is being recorded and a copy of the recording will be shared with you after the session. So you can share it onto your wider teams or anyone who has missed a session. We'll also be doing a live Q&A segment at the end of the webinar. So you can submit your questions at any time during the session just using the Q&A box. And then our team will review and address as many questions during the allotted time. So we encourage you to stay engaged and make the most of this opportunity. So please be engaged. So we'll move on to the webinar now. So I'll pass it over to you, Amina.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Dr. Amina Souag, Senior Lecturer in Computing. I am a researcher in artificial intelligence, and I'm here today as the course director of MSc Data Intelligence. So this is a course that we have introduced a few years ago to respond to an increased demand in the job market for skills in data science and artificial intelligence. It's been one of our most successful courses, very popular. So the overview of the course mainly it's to cover three main areas and three main goals, which are data computing, programming, data management and ethics, and visual data and data analysis, essentially. And that would start from the basic concepts of data programming, data structures, knowing that we do have in this course students from different backgrounds. In fact, we are very happy to welcome students from different STEM fields, whether that in engineering or physics or chemistry, as well as students with background in computer science. And then we take them all the way to the most modern techniques in artificial or the most wide cover of the different techniques or the use in nowadays artificial intelligence. We do also data management through big data databases, and we cover a wide range of big data systems. And the course also covers data analytics, and it also have from the next year VR and XR technologies. Hopefully with all this, this will prepare you for careers as data analysts, data engineers, database architects, etc. We do work with a variety of companies like NHS, Port of Dover, where some of our students take their final year, do their final dissertation. Well, there's a lot to say, but maybe I can respond to your questions when it's time to answer questions. So I pass to my colleague Ahmed now.
Thank you. So my name is Dr. Ahmed Musa. I'm a course director for MSc Cybersecurity, but I also teach on the computing cohort modules. So with the computer science, we have a variety of modules that we teach, and it's mainly to cover your progress from when you join us, basically from your basic uh, maybe A-level maths up until when you leave us to be able to, write programs, troubleshoot programs, and also be a wider computer science graduates that could actually be something such as software developer or network engineer, depending on what you decide to major in. So the course has some variety of modules from AI, cyber threats, big data, and how we help you through labs, hands-on labs, and how we introduce, real-world computing challenges. So Amina has mentioned some of the industry partners that we partner with, such as Port of Dover and others. So with the undergraduate, we have a variety of partners that we go to so that we can collaborate in terms of delivering projects, and some of these projects are actually projects that they're trying to solve, that we get our students to pitch in and help solve. And I'm aware of one of the projects being so successful like that. I think some of the students have gone to intern with one of the companies. So that collaborations help a lot. So we cover quite a lot of uh, quite a lot of topics while someone is with us, in the computer science program. And we hope by the time that you graduate, you'll be able to work in either as a network engineer, systems analyst, or administrator, data analyst, even go into cloud or many other opportunities across, the technology and computer roles, which there are numerous. Um, yeah, I think I think I can transfer to Amina for the. Okay, yeah, no, I will take this one as well. So the MSc Cybersecurity is one of our babies that we are currently running in the second year. Like the data intelligence, the MSc Cybersecurity is quite new, but has been very popular as well. Um, it was developed like 2 years ago, and has been already approved by the National Cybersecurity Center, uh, where we had to index our modules against industry benchmarks. So, which means the module has been accepted and vetted by industry experts who are sitting on the National Cybersecurity Center's panel. So it's very important that we are able to graduate students that are going to help uh, protect the world against cyber risks. As we know now, cybersecurity is quite important from the networking aspects, and particularly with the proliferation of AI and how AI has exploded in political security, risk management, in many other areas. And the course has been developed also, as a kind of a conversion course, for people from other STEM backgrounds or other backgrounds that have maths knowledge, so that we can build their knowledge base uh, from a basic level up until a certain level that they can be able to progress or actually work in one of many areas, either as a cybersecurity analyst, network security specialist, risk and security consultants, or many roles across the cyber warfare um, uh, roles. So there are many opportunities that are out there, and we do embed all of these opportunities within our modules as we teach, and our projects, they reflect that, because we have collaborations with other specific industry partners such as ISC2, where we have some collaborations where we can get you to have some basic certifications in cybersecurity that can help you as well if you're interested in that, or with CDS Defense, where they are major defense industry, where they can send us projects that are currently live, and we can get our students to actually work on these projects, and many other industry partners. So that can be done either as a final year project, or as a special project, depending on how the project is introduced to us and the time limit we are given for that to be resolved. So there are many opportunities here, and we hope to see you when you do join us, when you decide to join us. Thank you. Amina, do you want to take this? Oh, okay. You expected me to take this as well. All right. The BSc Cybersecurity and Computer Forensics is one of the programs that we do have as well, and it's taught side by side with the computer science. So some modules are overlapping, but we do have specific modules that concentrate on honing your skills as a digital forensics investigator, ethical hacker, network systems administrator. So that's us making sure that you are aware of the laws, the ethics, and the sustainability practices of handling computer systems, and how we can secure software programs, and actually get you those hands-on experience on how we can work on real world case studies and industry tools. So it's quite interesting as well, because it covers a lot more topics and a lot more areas that people can actually concentrate on. You can decide to be a digital forensic expert or a general cybersecurity analyst while you're on the course, because we have so many flavor of different modules that you can um, choose or be interested in, and actually decide to major in, or maybe do a master's or progress on, or do a certification when you do graduate, if you want to add on some more knowledge. Or it could be a well-rounded knowledge for you, because it has those flavors, the cybersecurity and computer forensics, as the name implies. So it's a very interesting one, and it's there to help you protect digital systems and investigate cyber crimes on all levels. Do you have anything to add, Amina? You're on mute.
Yeah, no. I think you've covered it well.
All right. Yeah, I think that's it, Stephen. Okay, Amina, entry requirements, please.
Right. So I think it's the same for both MSc Data Intelligence and MSc Cyber Security. For the postgraduate, we can come back to the undergraduate. We need to have a bachelor degree, minimum 2 or equivalent. You can apply as STEM or near STEM. So, and actually, we are encouraging. It's a conversion course. It's being designed with having in mind that people would come to these courses from different background. So you could have a background in computing, economics, informatics, or if you are for non-STEM, let's say, for example, nursing or other history or whatsoever, you need to have at least an A level in maths or equivalent, okay? For English, you would need to have in IELTS 6.0 overall, with no elements below 5.5. For the undergraduate, either BSc Computer Science, BSc Cybersecurity and Computer Forensics, you would need to have a completion of recognized high school senior secondary qualification equivalent to UK A levels, country specific. And for the English, it's the same. You would need to have an IELTS with 6.0 overall, with no element below 5.5.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you guys. Really informative. So we'll move on now to the Q&A part of the session. So for everyone that's joined us today, please do put in your questions to the Q&A box. It'd be great to hear from you all. We have a couple of questions in there so far, yeah. So please keep adding those in. In the meantime, I do have, and that's not just for our academic panelists. If you have any questions for Greenlee, who's our student ambassador, please do also add the questions in there for him as well, because we'll be hearing from him very, very shortly. But yeah, whilst we wait for those questions to come in, I'm just going to open the floor up with a more generic question. So this is for either Amina or Ahmed, or even Richard. So how do these courses prepare international students for careers in the UK and also the global job market?
Amina?
We do have a couple of partnerships with companies. It could start with a final year dissertation or an internships or placement, short placement. So, and also the way that the courses have been designed in partner with those companies. So we had experts from those companies who expressed their needs in terms of, technology use and what they are expecting, either, I suppose, in data science or artificial intelligence or cybersecurity. So yeah, that's how that potentially will support the students to be prepared for the job market. I don't know if you want to add something, Ahmed.
Yeah, you said it all. Our partnerships with industry, makes it, an easy way for students to jump from being a student to, actually being an employee. And even if they do not secure a role with that company, they can be able to actually use that as a form of experience on their CV, which is important.
I think as well, Stephen, what I'd add is in terms of careers and employability, we have an incredible professional team who help support all of our students. And as an institution, Canterbury Christchurch, we've been in the top 5, top 10 for many, many years in terms of employability. In 2023, we were actually #1 in the UK for employability. So also teaching employability skills really is embedded across all of our curricula as well, embedded across all of our courses really. So yeah, just wanted to add that as well.
Amazing. Yes, I mean it's a stat which I'm constantly using. Yeah, it's very good to hear. And for courses like this, practical experience is very important. So what are some of the practical experiences that students would have on the computing programs, whether it's, labs or projects?
Yeah, thank you. I think we've highlighted some of those. Across our computing and cybersecurity programs, we engage students on hands-on, sessions or lab sessions from the very beginning. So from, your first year or your first semester or trimester with us. So these are structured environments where we teach students how to use real world tools. So for cybersecurity, for example, we use Kali Linux, which is one of the tools that is used in industry. So it's an industry standard tool. We use it for many things such as, penetration testing, network forensics, vulnerability assessment, etc. And for our labs as well, and um, projects and assessments, we also introduce real world case studies, throughout the curriculum. So usually they are drawn out from high profile incidents. So if there is a recent incident, we might model it to be um, an assessment where student evaluates, what could have prevented the breach or how we can uh, um, fortify our security against that. So all of that is preparing students, for real world practical skills. That is also embedded in our dissertation final year projects, where students really demonstrate their capability across, the whole program and what they've learned from AI-driven threat detection, deepfake forensics, and all of that. The bottom line is, by the time the students graduate, we would have uh, get them to practice, a lot of tools that is going to help them build or help them, progress into the real world market. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amino,
So,
anything to add?
yeah, I mean, all our lectures are followed by a very practical session. Each lecture is followed by a practical session where we use the most latest advanced technologies related to the subject taught. We have been adopting a CDIO approach, which is CDIO for conceive, design, implement, and operate. And all our assessments are project-based. So you would each assessment would, whenever it's suitable, would start with conceiving, designing, implementing, and operating an artifact. Okay, I can give an example of big data databases module, which is part of LMSC data intelligence. The students start from learn from the start how to capture the requirements for a database into taking it to implementing it, designing it, implementing it, operating it, making some visualizations. So it go through the whole life cycle of the artifact, whether that would be in an AI model or a database system or a visualization system, etc. Yeah.
Amazing. Greenlee, I haven't forgotten about you. Yeah, so Greenlee is our student ambassador. He's very kindly agreed to join us on the session today. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself. Obviously, what you're studying, how long you've been a student at CCCU or in the UK, and yeah, we'll ask you a few questions. We have a few in the chat already.
Okay. My name is Greenlee Kusadia. I'm studying MSc Data Intelligence. Currently in my second trimester, just finishing. I started last year, September, and it's been going on so far.
Yeah, you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I've been indulging in a lot of things apart from studying. So yeah, it's been eventful.
And how long have you been a student in the UK for?
Less than a year. I started last year, September. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. And how's it going so far? You
Yeah,
used to the weather yet?
academic-wise, it's good. I'm coping, but
Yeah,
using the weather app, you just have to cope with it. It's
exactly.
unpredictable, but with the weather app, you try to gauge how you dress when going out. But it hasn't been a major issue. But prior to coming here, it was something I considered would be a major issue. But so far, it
Yeah.
hasn't.
And apart from the weather, so what was your biggest concern before coming to the UK, would you say? And
Um,
has your actual experience been different, or has it been kind of how you assumed it would be?
it has been different because prior to coming here, I was worried about the fact that the accent barrier would be an issue communicating in class, making friends. How would I adjust with the weather? How is the teaching curriculum like prior to coming? But luckily, when I got in, um, I think it's due to the fact that the school has a lot of supporting
Mhm.
components, like the global students. They welcomed me. I was able to actually settle in right from the first week. I was guided on things to do that are necessary for me to actually cope as an international student. And the learning environment has also been supportive because I never knew we assigned a part, which is like a personal tutor. So regardless of how you're coping in the class, those parts assist
Mhm.
you on specific modules. Even apart from the learning environment, if you have been going through any personal issues, they also guide you on it. Prior to coming, I had issues of, oh, would I be able to cope? Am I smart enough to actually indulge in data intelligence? But my background was software engineering, so I felt, oh, maybe that would be an edge in it. And coming in has actually been quite good because I shouldn't have been worried, but it has been going smoothly so far.
That's amazing to hear. Yeah, it's really good to hear from you about the support services and your amazing experience so far. We were talking with Amin and Ahmad about the practical experiences on the program. So, how's your experience been? With that component of the courses. Like, have you been working on any real world projects, or have you been collaborating with others during the course? And just more the practical elements of the program that you've had so far.
Yeah, like they actually said, each modules are constructed in the way that they use real world scenarios, and also every assessment you have to actually use real world scenarios and projects. So I've worked on AI related projects, and I'm currently working on an assessment that involves building a machine learning solution based on real world classification or regression problem. But that experience has been very practical, and coincidentally, I got a research assistant role, working as a utility telemetry rehabilitation system, which still entails data entry, data cleaning, using machine learning to predict different patterns as well. And these are tools that, or rather, skills that I actually learned during
Hmm.
this MSc program. Because prior to doing this, I was a software engineer, but I was just mainly focused on coding. But coming here, I learned the process of AI, understanding better what AI is used for, how it's constructed, how you actually, the process of actually it being AI. Yeah, and with this research assistant role has really opened my eye more how it's being implemented, also the ethics behind what you're doing, so guiding the users that are testing it. Yeah, so I've really implemented what I've learned so far, or I'm still implementing what I've learned so far.
Hmm. That's amazing to hear. So, Greenie, I'm gonna go back to Amin and Ahmad for now, but we've got a few more questions for you. So please don't leave
Okay,
us just yet.
that's
Appreciate it.
fine.
So the next question I wanted to ask you guys. So how do you support students in developing both technical and employability skills like communication and teamwork? It kind of feeds into what Greenlee was just saying. So
Amina?
either of you guys.
So some of our assessments actually are group projects, and we tell the student this gives you the opportunity to work as a group and learn how to develop those skills of working as a group. I think the university also is providing some employability. We have a career team that could support students into developing their CVs and communication and presentations. Some of our assessments actually, they are also include a presentation element, so they would develop an artifact and also come and present it as well. So this is some of the strategies we use to support students towards this.
Post-day events?
Hmm?
Post-day events? Just giving you the points. One of the things we also do is to embed, poster-day events where students develop their project and
That's true.
develop them into posters, where we also invite industry partners to come so that students would actually present to them and also interact with employers and also academics and other fellow students, maybe that have graduated, to come and give them some extra perspectives on their projects. So I just wanted to add that. Yeah.
Amazing. We have a question in the chat about a placement year. Are students able to do a placement year as part of the program?
So at the moment, the undergraduate students can have a placement year. Postgraduate students, level 7, we had a 3 months placement for the MSc data intelligence. We might pause for 1 year and we need to come back to it because we needed to do some restructuration. So next year there won't be a placement for level 7 MSc data intelligence, but it will come back after that. But the undergraduate can have 1 year placement. It's still there.
Right. And I know we have the the employability service. So what support is provided to students who are looking for a placement year? Is it completely up to them to find it, or like what support would they receive?
So the employability team sometimes help. They have the placement team also that can support them into how to contact companies, but also share some placement opportunities. As well, the students, if they find an opportunity, they can share with us, and then we can advise them whether it's suitable for their degree and in developing their skills.
Perfect. Yeah, we have a lot of questions actually that came through the chat box. I'm just going to check through them. So we have a few questions about scholarship. I'm not sure if you guys know too much about that.
So
Yeah.
we do. Do you want to
Sorry,
answer?
Richard, do you want to go?
No, sorry, I heard the word scholarship and my ears kind of pricked
Yeah.
up because that's kind of normally what I talk about. But I was just going to say, yeah, we do offer an international student scholarship of £1,500. So that's applicable to every year of study. So if you're doing a BSc, you'd get that every single year. Obviously, for the great thing about doing a master's in the UK is it's a 1 year course, right? So we'll also give you 1,500 scholarship. So that will reduce your overall tuition fees down to 15,500. And we've also got other early bird discounts as well that we're introducing again for September. And yeah, more information will be shared about those in due course. But yeah, there's even more ways as well to save essentially. Amina, sorry, you were gonna also say something, so I'll hand back over to you.
So sometimes, not always, but sometimes we do have PhD scholarships as well. So some of our MSc students, in fact, some of our PhD students now came as MSc students, and then they secured a PhD scholarship provided by the school or the postgraduate college. So that also depends on some. Maybe I should mention that some of those students who came as an MSc end up publishing their MSc work in a scientific venue, and that kind of support with their work and our support, and that kind of put them in a good position to secure a PhD scholarship.
Amazing. We have a question about the test of English language. So is IELTS the only test that we accept?
So we also accept Pearson as well, and we also accept TOEFL. We've got a very clear, very concise web page with all of our English language requirements. I can drop that actually into the Q&A in a second, Stephen, for people to have a look at. But yeah, it's IELTS, Pearson, or TOEFL are the three English language tests that we accept.
Perfect. There's also a few questions about AI. So obviously, I mean, AI, it seems to be, changing by the day and, progressing at a rate which is kind of mind-boggling. How do you guys integrate AI into the course? Because obviously it's changing at such a rapid pace, and yeah, how is it almost integrated or utilized within the course? And is it something that is having to be updated all the time within the course? So how does it work? It's more of a generic question.
I teach artificial intelligence level 6, and I've been doing it for the past few years. And believe me, it was one of the exciting and difficult because we update. I mean, I have to update the material every year. The field is moving so fast, and we always keep updating the material to stay up to date with the advancement of the technology. I mean, it's amazing what's happening. So in terms of the use of AI, and probably I think people may talk about generative AI. We do have a system on how to use generative AI for the work and assessment, and we do say what's the level of the use of generative AI in your work. We do have we kind of work with we try to take advantage of the technology as well, but also we introduce some at least how we've been doing it in my modules, a bit of challenging task that might not be easy given by AI. But anyways, in all, we want to basically ensure that you learn what you need to learn and use it, Gen AI, but use it in a way that allows you to produce a result, produce an artifact, and hopefully that will prepare you for your next role and your next career.
Yeah, and I just want to add that in some modules, we do even ask you to even use the AI to tell us how much you've used it and to what extent, so it's really challenging and interesting at the same time, because we have to accept that it's here to stay, and we have to embed it into our teaching and how we teach students, and how we also shape their thinking. So it's really interesting.
Yeah. No, because I mean, it's infiltrating almost every aspect of life at the minute. So I think it's expected that students are going to use it, but then it's also, the limitations and risks, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
This kind of moves me smoothly onto the next question for Greenlee. If you're still with us, Greenlee. In terms of your use of AI and your learnings of AI during the course, what's that been like? Are you using it a lot during the course? Are you learning a lot about AI?
My course has helped me practically understand AI tools by giving me hands-on experience with data analysis, machine learning, and statistical thinking, rather than just teaching the theory. And also
Yeah.
using AI is basically used for gauging your thought process. How do I want to do this? Guide me on it. But what has been especially useful is learning how to use the right approach for a problem rather than miss with working with classification, regression, or other analytical methods that has made AI feel much more practical and less abstract. Or because has also made me more aware of responsible side of using AI, including ethics, data handling, and the wider impact of technology. So that has been able to balance between technical skill and responsible practical. How it being responsible practical is important because it prepares me to use AI to in a way that is both effective and professional.
Amazing. One last question for you that we have
Yeah.
in the chat. So, what advice would you give to other international students who are looking to study on this course, or even in the UK?
I'll feel it depends on what you want to go for because I mean, I advise me like, oh, if you're indulging in anything, I'll go with the mindset of something you actually like because that's what's going to actually build or make you push you along the way. Because sometimes you might actually have burnout. But if it's what you're passionate for, you feel, oh, this is where your main area of focus would be, then I'll advise you to go for the module. And coming to UK has a lot of opportunities because apart from even studying, you get to explore and indulge in a lot of things. Like coming here, I never knew how to play lacrosse. The first week, I scored an hat-trick in lacrosse. I was like, oh, I'm that good. And this was just a bit that doesn't actually entail the learning environment. And when it comes to the learning, I've been involved with a lot of projects that I felt wouldn't be able to actually do. But prior to the knowledge of so how supported the learning environment has been, I've been able to indulge in things that I felt were way above my limits. And yeah, it's been a smooth ride so far.
That's great to hear. It's great to hear of your experiences, your varied experiences since
Yeah.
coming to the CCCU. Yes, I really appreciate you joining us, Greenlee. I'm going to pass it back to Amina and Ahmed for the last few questions. We have a question about the MOI. So this is the medium of instruction letter. So this is from Priyanka. So I can answer that. Yeah. So unfortunately, we don't accept the MOI. It needs to be one of the approved English language tests, such as the IELTS or TOEFL. Yeah, I'll just go through a few more. So yeah, this is for either Amina or Ahmad. What advice would you give to students, whether they're domestic or international, when they're looking at choosing, maybe it's data intelligence, cybersecurity, or computer science? Yeah, what advice would you give to them when they're deciding which one to study?
I can answer this. And then, choose what you're passionate about. This is what I tell my students. Oh, what am I going to do? Or what am I going to work on? Choose what you are passionate about. And also what you see yourself, your next role, because this is what you take the degree to take a role at a company or doing a job. That's, so that would be my first. Both courses have been designed with in mind that the job market. So they have both opportunities, both and undergraduate as well, like all the courses. They have been designed with the job market in mind. So I would expect there's opportunities across all courses. But when it comes to you, choose what you're passionate about.
Sure. Ahmad, anything to add?
Yeah, she said it all. You just need to ask yourself, why and what problem do you want to solve? Because, we can't do everything. Someone has to be a doctor, someone has to be an engineer, so someone is curing, someone is building. So you just have to ask yourself what you are most passionate about and what you want to concentrate on. For example, with cybersecurity, you'll be tasked with, protecting systems, critical infrastructure, digital assets across different levels. While with maybe computer science or data intelligence, you might be asked, to make sense of data and make systems that can understand systems or data intelligence driven data. And in computer science, talking about software development, systems architecture, and many other things that you could do as a computer science graduate, because it gives you a lot of versatility. So you just have to ask yourself, which part of the world you want to be in and what you are most passionate about, because some are passionate, about helping with curing people, so they decide to be doctors. Some they want to build things, so they decide to be engineers. So you just have to ask yourself, which part of the scale are you on? And yeah, our courses are all designed, with the global shortage of and the focus of employability in mind. Uh, and the context is helping you to get into work after graduation. That is why CCU as a whole has a good record of, getting students into work, within the first year after they graduate. So that is that. So whichever course you choose, we'll be here to help you. The academic team is here to help you while you are here, before you join us, and even after you graduate.
Amazing. I have just two follow-up questions, and then I think we'll wrap up. So you mentioned about the students following what they're passionate about. So let's say you have a student that joins the program. They have a keen interest in a certain area of, let's say, computer science or data. How is that kind of honed? Like, are they given additional support? Are they able to, expand on that interest? It might not be a specific module within the course. They just have a keen interest in this certain area of computing. Are they given additional support on that?
So for our undergraduate courses, the first year is a joint. So you would have all students across courses will take the same modules. That's level 4, okay? And obviously this year they will be, that year they will expose them to different modules and discuss with their academic team, discuss with personal academic tutor, okay? And then they can make an informed choice whether they want to stay in the course that they have initially chosen, or they can change, okay? And then obviously we can support them change. Say, for example, you came to study computer science, but after being exposed to some of the materials and talking to the academic team, you found out that you actually wanted computer forensic, okay? So you are having the same modules anyways. So from the second year, you can be transferred to the computer forensic course, okay? Now, if you came to level 7, either cybersecurity or data intelligence, okay, we can support you into kind of specializing. Let's say you came to data intelligence and then you found that you're actually interested in cybersecurity, for example. Let's say an example. So what we can do, you can work on your final dissertation using AI, solving a cybersecurity problem. Okay, and obviously because of the expertise we have in the team, we can do that. So you can also have like 2 supervisors, one with AI expertise and one with cybersecurity expertise, and then you can take both, okay? Or the opposite, you come to cybersecurity and it's like, actually, I'm very much interested in the AI and data science side, okay? So you can still solve the cybersecurity problem using artificial intelligence techniques, or building a data science related technique, let's say, or using a data science technique. So you can have a bit of both, okay? If you're not in the situation, you're a bit unsure, right? So you can have redirect your skills in what you are passionate about at the end of the day, using what we have in the team, the courses, the expertise we have in the team.
Amazing. Ahmad, anything to add to that? It's quite detailed.
Yeah, it's quite detailed. You've said everything. Yeah, because we do have both programs, so we have both lecturers with difficult both lecturers with different flavors. So some are teaching, the AI side and data science side, while some are teaching cybersecurity, and some modules are even mixed, like 1 or 2. So there you get to decide, which one of them you want to actually concentrate on, and it helps you get clarity, because you can't understand, you can't be a data science engineer now or analyst without actually understanding the cybersecurity aspects of it, or be a cybersecurity analyst without understanding, the AI emerging field. So with all that, and with us, giving you the both flavors in 1 or 2 modules, you get to also, make an informed choice. And those lecturers are there to help you, hone your skills on that. So even if you even though you can't switch programs in the MSc, but you get to work on your final year project on what you want, and with the supervisor you want. So the supervisor can be, me, for example. My expertise is mostly on cybersecurity, and Amina is on AI. So you can either choose Amina or myself, or you can have us both, depending on what kind of program or what kind of project you want to concentrate on.
Amazing. Yeah, just a final question we have. I know we've discussed a lot about employability and career pathways. So just off the top of your head, you may not have anything, but in terms of your recent students, like what kind of jobs have they gone into? What kind of careers have they gone into? Have you got any specific examples of, some of your students who have progressed onto, some amazing roles? It's
I
for
want to give a chance
either
to
Amina
answer
or
this time.
Yeah, I know of a student that works with the home office now. I think as a fraud specialist. Yeah, she just
okay.
graduated, in the cybersecurity and computer forensics. program, and I knew because I gave a reference. So there are many opportunities there. Some have gone to work with within IT teams. I don't know what specific roles. So yeah, there are many opportunities that I know of that the students have gone into, to actually work with. And I even know of international students that graduated our masters last year and now has secured PhD, with one of the universities in London. So
Okay.
it's really interesting that our students progress very quickly, and I think that's our testament is, the data that, our students get into employment within the first year, which is, interesting and something we're very proud of.
Yeah. Amina, anything to add?
I think Ahmed mentioned
Yeah.
some good examples. Yeah, either whether at the undergraduate level, some of our students end up working with Orbital Net, Port of Dover. We do have like these regional companies. Some of our MSc students are doing PhD now. And they secured scholarships, PhD scholarships. Yeah, something to be proud of.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the detail in terms of career outcomes, and yeah, it's clear to see why we're constantly voted in the top 10, constantly ranked in the top 10 for graduates in employment in the UK. Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. We've kind of covered a lot of questions. There's a few questions on things like accommodation and fees. There are a lot of accommodation options. The fees start from around about 125 pounds per week. But yeah, all of the accommodation options and the information is on the website. So I'm not going to go into too much detail there. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone joining today. That concludes our session. So yeah, thank you to our amazing panel, Amina, Ahmed, Richard, and especially Greenlee. Hope we've not taken too much time away from your studies. Yeah, really appreciate
No, it's fine.
you joining us and
It's fine.
providing the valuable insight. And yeah, truly hope you enjoy the rest of your studies and your time in the
Yeah, thank
UK.
you.
Sounds like you're having an amazing time, and yeah, please continue scoring those lacrosse goals for us. Yeah, and also to the audience for joining us. I hope you've taken something away from the session today. So once again, we'll be sharing a recording of this session so you can revisit all the information and yeah, anything you might have missed. Hope you found it informative, and yeah, we encourage you to consider CCCU as a valuable option on your academic journey or for your students. Yeah, so we look forward to seeing you in our next session, and take care. Have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.